Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of The Testing Room, where three of the gaming industry's best video game consultants, who have never actually consulted on a video game, bring you new topics each and every week. As always, I'm Alex, and this is my deathbed.
No.
I'm Christian, aka Suda45. I was not expecting that at all, and I was like, what do you mean? What happened?
Yeah.
I am Preston, aka Funkadelic Jedi.
Is that a big container of soup behind you, or is that supposed to be like coffee?
No, that was Theraflu. There it is.
Yeah.
And I think there is tissues in it, just because Allie was laying in here earlier with the pups, and yeah, it's just, she's been worse off than I am. I'm actually coming like over the hump. I actually feel okay today, like better.
Yeah, you don't got like coffees.
No, I mean, it occasionally pops up, but nothing crazy. But she's still dying. Like, she was like, I think I might need to go back to the doctor tomorrow. So she's on Theraflu. That's what she had. I actually have a cup of Theraflu here, too. So yeah, this is where we've been quarantining today.
Damn.
We were watching Preston stream.
Yeah.
I was playing some Metaphor. So yeah, that's...
Okay. I told you you're gonna get sick.
Preston saw Allie walking away and laughed at her because I assume you just saw her from the back. Yeah, it was just a blanket wrapped all the way over her body, and she was just like waddling out of the room.
With chills.
It was a very big blanket.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Okay.
What's going on? So, what's going on with you guys? Starting off with the comment corner?
Yeah, I got one comment real quick. I know you want to kind of cover something as well during the comment corner, Alex. But we do have one comment. This is a first-time commenter that we all know from Dusty Zero Unit. It says B-Stars is gas with a little salute. So thank you, Dusty.
I don't know what
for
that. I don't know what that means.
How do we all know him?
Isn't that your friend Dusty from?
I don't think so.
No.
Unless he changed his name, his online handle for as long as I've known him has been.
Gotcha. Okay, this is his YouTube handle, to be fair. So
yeah, I just mean like every handle that he's ever created has been that. It might be him. Okay. And if it's him, then...
Liz, what's up? Thanks for the comments. If not, what's up, new Dusty?
What's up? Thanks for the comment.
What's up, Dusty, too? Appreciate it.
What is it? I assume gas means good, like gas and fire.
I had an Urban Dictionary earlier, yes. Don't feel bad.
Oh my God, both of you. Jesus Christ.
You know, we're not as young as you are, Christian. We don't know all this lingo.
Oh, dude, fucking
not all of us. You have a young sibling, man. I don't have a young sibling. I don't interact with kids.
I have two of them, but that's true.
Yeah. I don't get to hear this stuff from the children. No, like I have nieces and nephews, but they're like way too young.
Also, the only reason I say that I call is that you are, anytime that you have to go do trainings, you're around people of all ages, and I know some of them are a bunch of 20-somethings.
Yeah, but they're not like, I'm not going to call on them in the middle of training. They're going to be like, oh man, XYZ is gas over there. Like, they're not going to talk like that. So I never hear it. And if they're talking amongst each other like that, I'm not going to walk over to their table and just be like, let me, like, just mix and mingle with you.
I know if you were walking by and you heard somebody, you wouldn't join in the conversation, but you would immediately pull your phone out and go, how did you use that word? What does that mean?
I will translate this.
Get into it.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I will be with the children in the field next week for a couple of days, so I might hear some of these words.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay. Now you're more
I can't wait for you to put that into your your training somewhere where you're like, guys, you don't understand. Is gas.
I'll bleep that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I just thought about that. Yeah, you have to bleep that. Make a note.
I almost did earlier. Don't feel bad.
So bleep that whole sentence. Bleep the whole sentence, but then just put leave is gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sometimes like to drop like lingo that is way too young for me into different events and trainings.
Well, now you got one.
People think it's funny, right? Because they're like, he's too old to do that, and usually it's like he's too old and Caucasian to do that. So yeah. Now I have a new one. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and so I think, Preston, we're going to talk about it here in a bit. I know I was going to bring a comment. I think Christian wants to talk about it a little bit more than what the comment corner can hold.
Sure.
So
true.
So yeah, well, I have some stuff to talk about here.
We wanted to comment on the VGAs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TGAs.
TGAs, yeah, the GAs, the TGAs, the Game Awards,
yes,
2024.
correct.
which we watched together.
Achilles.
Christian watched 40% of it. I watched about 55% of it, and then after I went to bed at like 11, it still went on for like 9 more hours. I think it was still going by like 8 a.m. It's so long. So long.
It was an hour shorter than last year's, to be fair, but yes, it was not short.
Here's my problem with the Game Awards, which is like...
Only one problem with them.
I thought it was a good show compared to most of theirs.
Yeah, here's my one issue with the Game Awards, is that you call yourself the Game Awards, you show 3 hours of trailers, and then have 1 hour of award, but the awards, like... You don't even give them pomp or circumstance. You go, yeah, so anyway, best action game of the year is blah, 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 blah. Here you go. Congratulations. Moving on. Like, it's not even...
Some of them, there's like Harrison Ford jumped out there for one of them, and it was like a big to-do.
I think there's 4 or 5.
There's
like 5 awards that get somebody to actually come out and do something
a big
about
thing.
it.
Yeah. But, like, if you think about what they put on, man, they have hundreds, probably a couple thousand people in this theater. It's like a production.
Yeah, but here's
all
the thing.
all you do is you bring 5 people on stage and then show 3 hours worth of trailers.
Yep,
like it's just so much.
But here's the problem, is that without that setup, this show doesn't exist, because it's not like I mean, I don't know anybody. I know you do, but most people do not watch the Oscars. Like, most people don't give a fuck, and even less people have been giving a fuck every year, because they're just like, I don't care. Like,
then it's just awards, yeah.
Whatever. But that show is just awards. And so only people who actually care about that are going to watch it. Same thing here. But the problem is with the Game Awards, way, way, way less people care about that than even the Oscars. So the only people who would be watching your show, if you didn't have any trailers,
like the
only people who would be watching your show are people who actually, like, it'd be like the Golden Joysticks, where it's just an award show. Mm-hmm. Now that one's all developer focused, right? So you have devs that are watching it, but even then, almost no one tunes into that show, because
I don't think it should be no trailers. I just think there should be a better happy medium between You could I don't know that I need to see an award for every influencer, but like if you wanted to actually give an award to the game that won like best action game or best blah 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 game, right? I think there's a happy medium to be met there than just like quickly running through them like 2 or 3 together at a time every 25 minutes. It's just weird. It's weird because like I just put myself in the shoes of an attendee. And it would be so weird to like dress up and be there and sit down.
I think it would be weird for a nominee, but for somebody who's just there, if you ask everybody who bought like a regular ticket just to go and watch, the only reason they're there is to see trailers. Like, I can't
to hang out with the gaming community and get drunk and have a good time. That's
but as a nominee, I agree with you, because it'll be like, if you were the person who won, like, I don't know, best soundtrack or whatever it was. I don't know if they had somebody come up for that. But if you were one of the ones that won that like quick nomination, you're probably just like, radical. Like,
now I'm gone.
A lot of these people, a lot of these actors in games are actors, right? Especially today. Like we have more actors than ever like in games.
Sure.
That are in legit things. And it would just be a weird juxtaposition going from like the Emmys earlier in the year where like Fallout was nominated to then like the Game Awards, just like with the people, with the way the event happens.
To be fair, just like when they cut to the crowd and like the audience, like you will see the voice actors out there in the gaming community, but like Harrison Ford's not hanging out there. The girl from Fallout's not hanging out there as far as like the main actor. It's like they're in the backstage to do their job, and then they're getting the hell out of there as soon as their job is done, or they're hanging out.
I'm sure it's the same thing as like when actors have to go to like, I don't know, like the Teens Choice Awards.
Sure,
or something
yeah.
Like
Could you imagine?
They get hit with a slime can and they're like, thanks, and then they leave.
Yeah. Could you imagine being Harrison Ford? Like I cringe thinking about this. Could you imagine being Harrison Ford in the back, just there to do like your one thing in the
all
lead,
those fucking nerds
and get caught? No, not even all the nerds. Like I don't even think it would matter about that. But get caught with the like It Takes Two dude. Like his drunk ass, just like that would be the worst
Harrison
situation.
had like bodyguards or like people who entourage who's like, no,
Yeah, I'm sure
Mr.
it's
Ford
like,
needs to
no,
continue
yeah.
on. Yeah,
He doesn't have time to be talking
Yeah.
to you. Thanks.
That guy's
I'm sure he hated even getting a standing ovation there.
you saw him like he's sitting there and he's like, no, go teleprompter. He's like, Kim, let's go. Let's move this along. He's like, I'm
Well,
not
no,
sitting
I
here
think
waiting.
it wasn't that. It was that the teleprompter froze, and so he
Was
was
Yeah,
that
like,
froze? I thought they were just.
he
waiting
was
for
like,
the
we'll
end.
wait for it to catch up, and then he's like, looking at people like it's not moving. Like,
Yeah, I thought they paused it for like the applause. That's what I thought they.
No, the teleprompter was having issues all night because there was somebody else that was like, I'm just riffing right now because there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
on the teleprompter. And then they pointed, they're like, oh, it's back up, right? So
I thought that was adorable
was
when he
just
did that. He's like, come on, the old man. He's like, just fucking move the teleprompter. Come on. Like, yes, Harrison, tell him.
it's just so weird.
no,
Also,
he was like, I'm not riffing, so
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
either
no.
reading what's on the screen or I'm walking away.
yeah. Also, the guy that does It Takes Two in the other new game,
Yeah,
but
Joseph, whatever.
I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion. He's the worst.
I wouldn't say he's
just-
the worst, but he's he's cringy for sure.
He's the worst. Yeah, he sucks.
He,
I liked
I
his
think-
game.
I think that there are some people that probably love working for a guy like that. Like, there's definitely a personality type.
Let's fuck
that
shit
loves
up.
Yeah, like I think there's a personality type that loves being an employee there. I am not one of those people.
I'm telling you, from somebody that has little bits of experience around CEOs like that, for telecom
Same.
companies and other stuff, right? Like, we all know the T-Mobile CEO and stuff. Like, just be
It's miserable. It's a miserable experience.
those people are dicks.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
dicks. They put on this persona of like disruptors and we're the cool guys. Everyone wants to be
Yep.
part of us. But behind closed doors, they're just assholes. And I guarantee you, this dude is also an asshole.
And they're the type of person that when it comes to like work ethic, like they're like, look, man, you either want to put in 15-hour days and be a part of this special thing that we're building, or you're just not built like us, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying you have to come with me, but if you come with me, you better be ready to work. And you're like this like whole thing, and you're just like, and there's again, there are personality types out there that really love that whole thing because this is probably the hot take that you might be looking for, Alex, but I think they're still the people that believe in fucking trickle-down economics where they're just sitting there with their fucking mouth open being like, just let something fall down. But I think, yeah, all three of us are definitely not those people. If I had somebody talking to me like that, I would be like, yeah, this isn't working. And
When he appears on stage, it's just he was drunk clearly because like he almost fell off the stage right. So we saw that. He, like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's probably
going-
partying.
Yeah. he's
yeah,
part of
like
sure.
so. But like you can tell those people, he's not in it for the game. He's not in it for his devs that created this. He's just in it for him. Like I'm not saying like he's not in the industry. He that's fine.
He's on that
like,
stage for his ego.
He's on
sure.
stage doing
Yeah.
that solely for his ego, and that was and acting that way solely for his ego, and that's my problem with that.
I think
and, like,
I think really what it is like that guy came up in an era because everybody has to remember like there is a strict difference between like our tours in the gaming industry and then ones from the East and then ones from the West. And like that dude grew up in the Cliff Bleszinski era,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that is who that dude reminds me of a lot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but there was a lot of Western devs.
a young Cliffy B.
But there was a lot of Western devs that's how they were. Like, even the ones that touted themselves to be like a little bit more intellectual, like Jonathan Blow and all those other people, like they're all the same kind of person. Like that's how they are. And so if you are coming up in the industry and like that's your fucking like shining star, like that's who you're going after, then I mean, hey, you nailed it, I guess. Like you're there and you're doing it. But I mean, don't forget, like, back when there was like other giant press events when the gaming industry was just like, especially in the West, it was bigger than it, like and it was all this new money and nobody knew what to do with it. I mean, you had Cliff Bleszinski walking around with in a park with a Gears of War chainsaw gun, just being like, oh, running around and being like, ah, that's me, I'm the coolest, and you're like, yeah, that's all right, man.
Yeah.
But there was people who loved that. Like, it's just that was the industry. I mean, that was the same time too that like Japanese games specifically were getting shit on by like games media and everything, where they were just like, these games suck and they're, all they do is focus on trying to tell like a compelling story. Who gives a fuck? Like, I want to rip people apart and da-da-da, and you're like, okay. Yeah. It is
Just very cringy.
it was a
Like, I was very
time. That honestly, that should be a side quest that we do one day, is like doing a retrospective on the crazy like anti-Japanese sentiment that went around for almost 10 years. It was like 2000 to like 2010. It was wild.
Yeah.
Would it be the 2010? Be the heyday right before the first Xbox, but then like the heyday of American gaming, right? With Microsoft and.
No, yeah, I was gonna say it was
all
during
the-
the first Xbox. Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
that whole era, like, and it was even during the three. It boiled in. I might even have the dates from, but it was like it boiled into like the 360 era and stuff too. Like, it was, you had like any time that a Japanese dev would release a game, there was like so much shit. Like, all you have to do is, if you're interested, before we do like a thing on it, look up G4 or like X-Play being racist about Japanese games. Like, just type that into Google and see the clips that come through, and it was crazy. There's a clip out there of Morgan Webb, who was on X-Play at the time, and she made a comment that I cannot believe no one has paid to try, like, as far as like her team is concerned, to try to like erase from history.
Yeah.
Because she makes a comment where I don't remember what game it was, but I think it was some RPG, but or it might have been like an action game. I don't know, or like an action RPG, but something came out and they gave it a review. And before she launches into the review, she basically was like, she said something along the effect of, "This game isn't that good, but it's not Japan's fault because we nuked them twice." So,
Jesus.
and you're like I remember seeing that episode live and being like,
That's a lot.
and it used to make me furious because it was wild to be, it's crazy now because especially like Japanese games are infinitely more popular than they've ever been, and that whole like Metaphor came out and it's the biggest thing that anybody was talking about this year, like, as far as, which is crazy because that would never be the case, but like we had, like, back then, if outside of like my small group of friends, if I was to try to talk to somebody about a Japanese game, I don't play shit like that. Like, you guys know, my cousin is example. Anytime that I used to talk to him, he would try to go ballistic over the fact that I owned a PlayStation to play those games. Like, he was like, that console fucking sucks. It's for fucking nerds. Blah blah blah. I play shit that's cool
On
and it's
Xbox. For
right.
dudes.
Yeah.
Dude, that whole channel with like X-Play and G4 and stuff, it is a moment in time that if you go back, it doesn't hold up well.
No,
Like,
that's the thing, is that it was definitely a moment in time, and I think I personally, like, I have a lot of nostalgia for that time just because it was cool to have a channel
It's cool to see games
on cable
TV.
television that you could go and be like, this is going to be something that will have potentially something for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Like,
it impacted
beforehand, it was
my
like-
buying decisions. Like, if I
Yeah.
knew a big game was coming out, I'd watch
Yeah.
that and then go to GameStop.
And before like
right?
startup big, like it was Tech TV, and you got like the digital playground or whatever, like
Yeah,
for
yeah,
like
yeah.
an
Yeah.
hour, like every
Yeah.
week, and then all of a sudden we got a full channel for it. It was awesome. to
Because
me.
before that, I mean, you guys remember, but before that, like, we were strictly looking at random videos that got dropped from publications
going to
or like
IGN.
different people and going to different websites, but like, and then waiting for shit to buffer and load and like looking at like old clips from like even the early Giant Bomb days, like when it was Whiskey Media and stuff, right? But like looking at early clips of them trying to like find stuff online and watching, or like GameSpot, even early GameSpot, like with Jeff Gerstmann, like a babyface Jeff Gerstmann talking about the Dreamcast launching and things like that. Like, it was wild back then. Like, and so to have a place that you could be like, I'm going to turn on the TV and I'm going to watch something that I'm interested in. It was cool, but man, there is not very many episodes that you can get through that you go like, woof, yikes.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad.
Yes.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, we'll get back on track. Let's talk about
Comment corner.
the Game Awards. Yeah, what do we want to talk about? There were, first of all, I guess we can start with the awards themselves.
I felt that most of the ones that won were pretty on point. Like the ones that we were talking about that had categories to where it was like, there's really only 2 games that fit this category. One of those 2 games won. It wasn't one of the other random ones. Aside from how we felt about the family game one, to where you thought it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But that's just how they define the family game.
Uh-huh.
I will
everything
say I was not mad about anything, and I was pretty spot on with we were pretty spot on with our guesses in general.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I was surprised about, I still am surprised that oh no, I take that back. I was saying Metaphor won. They didn't. Astrobot won. So actually nailed Game of the Year. So there's that. Yeah, Metaphor won a couple things.
I didn't think
they won
Astrobot
RPG,
was,
right?
Is that?
Metaphor
won
won
what?
RPG. Didn't Metaphor win RPG?
Yes.
Yeah.
That surprised me. So like, good for them.
Wasn't it the only RPG in that category though?
There's
It
probably
would-
Dragon Age.
Yeah, there was Dragon Age. There was also
Sure.
what was it? It was Dragon Age, Like a Dragon. That
Was Like a Dragon in that one?
I got
think
a
it
folder
was.
with those nominees.
Oh,
Pull it
that's
up for you.
highway
Yeah.
robbery then, but that's fine.
I think it was, but
I can pull up here real quick.
yeah, I'm not surprised at Astrobot winning. I think that was my prediction on that, and
Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
shame that 'cause I haven't even played it yet because I mean, Steph's playing it right now and she says she likes it. It's just simple and it's nice it's like a nice like little junk food kind of game to where it's like, you know, you get in there, you have a lot of fun, you feel good about playing it, that kind of deal. But I mean, I kind of predicted that too, just the way that the industry was talking about it, and I knew that most of those industry people were the ones voting on these games. That's what
Yep.
kind of led me to believe that. But role-playing game, as far as going back to that, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Shadow Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor.
I actually
Yeah.
think we all thought Elden Ring was going to win that, just because.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I really did. So I was shocked. Also, just a quick update. That is the Dustin that we all
Okay.
or the yeah.
We all know,
So that is
yes.
him. Yep.
Cool. You text him like, "Hey, what's your YouTube name?"
No, I went to the page and I was like, let me do some digging, and then I was like, it is
Stalked him
him,
online.
so-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean it's the awards. I mean, I thought they did pretty well with just selecting them as far as what the end result was for those.
I'm shocked that Astrobot won Game of the Year only because it doesn't seem like I would have expected everybody to vote for the Elden Ring DLC.
I think with the backlash of that, I think most people were like, they felt the same, to where it's like, I don't really feel this kind of fits
Well,
the category. So
I don't know.
but they also nominated it, so
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know that they felt the same because they nominated it in the first place, but who knows?
maybe just small enough of numbers to get there.
But yeah, I'm happy because maybe that means that we'll get more single player focused games and less games as a service
Platforming,
bullshit.
just
But
nice, fun platforming games that don't need to be services, that don't need to be
not even
multiplayer.
platform, just anything
Yeah.
that's not a fucking gas game. Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, the people that pick the awards,
It's a
there's
jury.
There's a jury of more than 100 publications,
Yep.
and then a bunch of influencers.
Yeah, and you have something like Jeff Gerstmann's in
It's
there.
usually it's more publications than it is
Yeah.
influencers, but yeah.
But the
This says-
influencers would be like Jeff Gerstmann, who's been a part of the industry, who happens to just do some other thing nowadays. Yeah.
Some, but there's some influencers who are like actual just Twitch streamers.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sure-
just
I'm sure there are
there's
some.
just influence. This says that in the past few years, the jury has tripled in size, and it's shifted in makeup from just media outlets because media outlets have folded, and more new influencers
Mm-hmm.
have come to prominence. I just, that. I think like many award shows, there should be like sports awards. There should almost be like a 3-way voting system. It should be the industry publications, it should be people from the industry themselves, and then the fans.
So
right?
the
That's how, like, a
industry
lot of
ones, they have an award show for that. It's the Joystick Awards. Like that's if you want those results, you go to there to find out what the developers, the
No,
people who are
I-
making games, want to vote for.
I know what you're saying with the Joystick Awards. That's for developers praising other developers, right? But like
yes.
But like if you look at like sports awards and stuff, like who
Sure.
makes the All-Star game and stuff, like you do a three-way thing. It's like, okay, who do the fans think deserves to be an All-Star? Who do the players on the teams, the managers think should be an All-Star? And then of course like all the writers, right? And when you take those three things together, I think you get the most accurate thing, because influencers anymore, man, just pull. We've talked about this a little bit. They just pull so much influence one way or another, and then you end up with things like Astrobot that are a really good game, and it was a highly rated game. But Astrobot was also, for a period, same with Elden Ring and other stuff, they're very streamer-friendly games, right? That's what they draw the clicks and the views for. So those would also be, like, unevenly weighted in a lot of categories.
I feel like there would have been other nominations if it was a little more heavy, but I feel like over the years that will become more of a thing because of, like, what Christian said, like, there's so many of these media, like, outlets that are just folding over to where there's not enough of them to, like, be able to fill out that roster for the jury. A lot of those people will go off to do their own thing, and then they're now quote unquote technically influencers like Gershman.
Yeah, but the problem too is like having, and this is where not having the fans actually becomes an issue. You see it in the nominations, right? Because you rely so heavily on the media. That's why I bitch every year about like lack of independent studios or independent games, new IP and stuff. That's why, Christian, you can't hear you. That's why like the categories and other stuff can end up the way they are, because when you're looking at the media portion, they're going to weigh heavily on.
Yeah.
The problem is
Media
that if you had a fan based voting show, it would be the biggest piece of shit on the planet. Like,
Well, again, that's
would
why
be
a three-way system, right? Like something that averages that stuff out.
I kinda wish-
The fans aren't weighed as heavy as the writers, but like the fans would have a say, in something like that. Just
What I would like is like do some kind of like, and I hate to say this, but like something like Rotten Tomatoes, to where you have the jury's nomination, and at the very end is like, and the people's choice for this category goes to this one, so that way you can have, just because they do
Yeah,
allow
I
you
can
to
see
vote
that.
for everything online. Like those categories are available for you to vote for before the show is up.
honestly, that's what Keeley's pre-show should be. That girl, instead of giving off random just awards that don't matter, she should
people
be up there
awards.
doing like a fans' choice awards
name is
before they
Sydney.
get into the actual show. It doesn't matter. Before they get into the actual show, that's what she should be doing. That would actually be a better pre-show than what they have her doing now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just filling up with the smaller stuff. Yeah. But
So,
yeah,
okay. Well, what do you think of the trailers? We had a ton of trailers.
I think
Yeah, I
they
was
had a
gonna
lot
say.
of really good trailers. Polygon has a
I think
good
they did
article if you
too.
guys want to go to it, because it just kind of gives them down there real quick.
That's where I am.
Yeah. So like obviously first on top of there, it's kind of the closer of the show. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophecy is
Yeah,
Naughty
that'll come
Dog's
up in
new
our
game.
fucking topic
So-
later.
I don't know if you guys. I don't know what you thought of the trailer. We didn't talk about this. I am a sucker for any sci-fi film that does that like synth music, and
80s
it's not just like,
aesthetic,
Yeah.
oh, dude. And the music here, the only thing that got me is this game's supposed to take place 3,000 years in the future, and like I don't know that Porsche would still be around, but we have some
I
like
think
top-
that's bold of you to assume, because if capitalism keeps going the way we think it is, Porsche might own a part of this country by the time we're
That's
all
fair.
done.
Fair. So I thought the actual just having like the word Porsche on the back of the ship was a little goofy.
I want to see what they do with that, because the fact that they had 3 brands there. You had Porsche, Adidas, and Sony. Sony, I kind of.
I didn't even notice the Adidas one.
She had Adidas shoes on.
Oh,
They
her
had
shoes.
Focused on
Yeah,
her
see
shoes.
'em right
and it was
here.
Adidas.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like I'm sitting there like, man, it's a short trailer, and you got 3 brandings in there already. I'm like, I know it's Naughty Dog. There's probably like a story plot of that, to like maybe it's just super, corporate, levels it's everywhere. But it's just that just rubbed me the wrong way. I am glad that Naughty Dog's doing something different. It's really good to see like that, like they're not being forced to just do Last of Us and shit like that. Like, okay, good. It's still Naughty Dog. They're still venturing out to do different things. I want to see what they do with this one. I am excited to see what that is.
Yeah. I am too. I love the tone of the trailer.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
the
happy they're
music
just doing
of the
something
trailer.
different.
Here-
Honestly, that game could come out,
They're still
And be
doing part
fucking-
3, but like it's. I'm glad they're
but that
working
game could
something.
come out and be completely ass, and I will still be like, I might purchase it just off of.
Sure.
I'm going to reward you for doing something different. I don't
So
even care
Christian,
if it's
you're
bad.
not gonna reward them for Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
No.
Okay.
I haven't bought any of their games since The Last of Us Part 2.
The only thing that about this trailer that I've been going back and forth with, there's some controversy, I guess, where I forget who it was that came out, but somebody said that final bit where you see her jumping in the air with the sword was gameplay footage. So people are like, that's incredible. And I'm going to say shenanigans. Now, if you want to say maybe it is, like, you know how games will sometimes do that little, like, intro tutorial into a fight?
Yeah.
Where, like,
Sure.
here's the
In-game
cinematic.
footage,
rendered
but not
in-engine.
necessarily you're playing it, but it's in-engine, footage.
They in-engine maybe, but they said in-game footage, and I'm going to say that there's no way.
But in-game could mean anything. Like, in-game could be as long as it's in-engine. That like cutscenes in a game still count as being in-game because like as long as they're not pre-rendered. Like as long as they're being rendered in-engine, then that counts as being in-game. So it's probably just that.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's what it meant, but I've just seen a lot of people going back and forth online of like, this fighting is going to be amazing. This is what it is. I'm like, that's not what
probably
it is.
not. And also, like people, I mean, who knows? But also, people like, we still live in a world where people don't even understand what the word alpha means. So
Fair. So, but yeah, I thought the intergalactic trailer was dope. I was very excited about it.
So I'll just because these are the ones that I missed. I think all the ones that I saw before that were okay. I have a couple comments, but for me, the stars of the show and things that I couldn't believe that I missed was a new Onimusha game got announced in the year of our Lord 2024.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that fucking happened. Capcom is Cap God forever. They never stop. They always win.
We said Christian would love this when we were watching it. We're like,
I couldn't believe it. I love Onimusha. So if you guys don't remember, there was way back in the day, in the dark times on YouTube that we don't talk about, there was a stream that we all did, and one of the games that we ended on was Onimusha 3 because that game is fucking incredible. So getting a sequel to that game, hype, whatever. I'm so hype. Second one is again, seemingly Capcom can't be stopped. An Okami sequel is and Kamiya is part of it. Is like I don't know how we got here. I don't know what price we paid.
I mean, they haven't done a game since PlayStation 2, right? That's when Okami came out.
No, technically there was a sequel that happened on the Wii.
Oh, okay.
But no, not really a sequel, but like a
remix.
It's like a companion thing. Yeah, kinda. It's a little weird, but yeah. And then they had like Okami Den and stuff like that. That ended up being like the Wii and DS, I think. But yeah, an actual full sequel to Okami, the PS2 game.
Jeff Gerstmann was in tears when he revealed that.
It's an incredible game, and here's the thing: it honestly, it might show up on because I have it on Steam. It might show up on a gaming book club one day. It is, and this is I would love for it to be judged this way. I think that it is better than any Zelda game ever, and it is literally. I mean, that's what it is. It was PlayStation's attempt at going for Zelda, and it is better in every respect, in my opinion.
I've never beaten it. Yeah,
it's amazing. And then third one is we got Fumito Ueda's next game.
That was the big one for you. I saw it and I'm like, oh shit.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I couldn't believe that they announced it. Now, to be fair, we got nothing. Yeah. Like
as far as you guys know, the guy who made Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. So you got
kind of the Eco black goo. And you got like a big Colossus that you climb into, so you got a couple of things.
There's something there, man. I don't know. There's stuff there. It looked like that little robot looked like the 16th Colossus, and just with everything that he does, there's always connections. There's always little things that he leaves that makes like we're all in the same timeline still. Like there was connections to Eco and Shadow of the Colossus and Last Guardian. Like it's all over the place, and he does it on purpose, and he doesn't say anything, and I love it because it's just like. There's so much theory crafting there. The other ones after that is Clive being in Tekken fucking owns.
Yeah.
New Virtual Fighter is insane. RGG has to be stopped. I don't know, like everybody at that studio seems to be incredibly happy and love being there, but I'm not sure that that's the case because of how many games they're forced to make all the time. Like the Virtua Fighter 5 is also them. If you look, the re-release of Virtua Fighter 5 with rollback is them. They're working with another studio, but it's also them. Then they've got Virtua Fighter 6 that they're on. They've got whatever is supposed to replace the Judgment series. They showed that game, and that looks cool. And they've got Pirate Yakuza.
Yeah.
if it was any other studio and they didn't have people coming out constantly being like, I love working here, everything's so great, we would assume that they're being crunched into dust. Like,
Is that because all the people that will complain about crunch are locked in those like
dude,
get you to
maybe
quit offices, right?
Maybe
Like,
honestly, what I've heard is that RGG, what they've been doing is just they reuse a lot of rigging and assets and different things like that. Now, I don't know how that relates to Virtual Fighter at all. The only thing I can think of is that because over the years, and Alex, you know this as somebody who's played almost as much Yakuza as I have, Virtual Fighter only has existed the last 15 years as a mini game inside Yakuza.
It's an arcade, yeah.
And so like I think that because they've spent so much time porting it over as a mini game over and over again, they probably have a lot of the base like code just like ready to go. So maybe, but like I have heard that a lot of their projects are like, hey, if we can reuse some rigging, or we can reuse some models, or we can reuse X, Y, or Z, then we're gonna do it and we don't care. And like, to be honest, none of the fans seem to mind either, because we've been here for every Yakuza game so far, and we're like, dude, keep giving us more. Like, everything's great. So
that samurai game that they announced is supposed to replace Judgment, I'm sure just looked like they were pulling. I mean, it looked very similar to Inshin, Like a Dragon Inshin. So I'm sure they were just pulling some stuff straight from that. So.
It could be. So there's that, and then so shout out to them. Witcher 4 looked cool. I don't want to hear more about it until it's out, and so
2032.
Yeah, it's nice to know it's going to be mainly Ciri. I think even the voice actor for
that'll
Geralt
come back.
has.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in the topic.
The guy, as far as the guy who played Geralt, he actually saw that. Apparently, he went on and said something about like, yeah, he is in it, and then the company CD Projekt Red got real pissed off at him, and he just mentioned something. He took it back a little bit, but whether it's flashbacks,
I'm sure it's like a
whether it's
flashback
whatever,
or something. Who knows?
He's still going to be there.
I think we all expect Geralt to be in there in some form, but probably I thought it was a flashback or something.
I hope it's just a flashback. I don't want him to be
CG trailer
in there. I'm stoked that Ninja Gaiden is coming back. That was cool.
Yeah, that was rad.
The only other thing that I have to say about the game, like the trailers here, and this could be a hot take. I think that Elden Ring Night Rain looks cool. I honestly wish it was anything but Elden Ring. Like, so we found out that it's a co-op roguelite.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's about to be.
It's
class-based.
Yeah.
And then you're leveling up, and it's all supposed to be co-op. If you look through it, they've reused a ton of movement and tech from Sekiro, and like they're using that to like handle a lot of the different stuff to make it like faster and more action.
Some of it doesn't look like it fits into Elden
But so this is what I'm getting at, is that I think FromSoft, especially after what happened with Armored Core, which I think a lot of people liked Armored Core, but I think it definitely sold more than any Armored Core before that, but even still, there was tons of the quote-unquote like FromSoft fan base that were pissed that it's not a Souls-like, and that it was still an Armored Core game. Like, and I saw so many people being like, I just wish there was more Souls mechanics, and it was like, that would ruin the fucking game. Like, that's not what it is. And so it seems like what they're doing here is they're trying to find a way to do something new without pissing people off. And it bums me out, because I'm like, I bet you could have done something sick. Like, a co-op action RPG roguelite is not something that we've really seen much of. And I think that could be fucking super fun. But the fact that you had to piece it together with pieces of Elden Ring and Sekiro so that people don't get mad at you is really fucking lame, in my opinion. But it's not FromSoft's fault, it's like their fan base's fault. Like, I'm not mad at but you can tell that's what's happening here, because to Alex's point, like when you look at the trailer and you watch it, and especially like the deeper dive that they posted, all of it does not look like it fits together. Like, it looks like somebody stapled a bunch of shit together and was like, cool. Honestly, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a mod. It reminds me of what you would see if somebody modded this into Elden Ring and was like, it's like when people put like Virgil in Elden Ring and you can go do like judgment cut on bosses and you're like,
Sure.
that's hilarious. Like, it's cool looking, but you're like, this doesn't fit. Like, it's not right. That's what this feels like. The whole trailer feels like that. And it's like reusing different bosses in sort of ways from like Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 2 and like different things are getting funneled in. And then there's also the new stuff in there too. But you're just like, man, okay. Like, I bet it will still be fun. Like, I bet you the core gameplay will still be fun. But it is kind of a bummer that it's like, you had to do it this way, and you couldn't feel comfortable enough to just like
Do something new.
do a new thing with that base.
Yeah, I agree. I was excited about. I mean, all the trailers you said. I thought there could be something fun with Split Fiction, even though I was complaining about their CEO a minute ago.
You do like their games.
Yeah, I do, and like as a co-op game with Allie, I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah.
It looked pretty, so like I'm down to try it. I like the fantasy sci-fi aspect of it. I felt it was very story heavy when he was describing it, and honestly, I think too much story is probably gonna make it bad. Like that's a
We'll
weird thing
see.
to say.
Yeah.
It's a
I
weird
think
thing to say. It's
Preston,
just
you
it was
played
very
Way Out, right? Wasn't Way Out pretty story heavy?
It was. I didn't play it, but I
Yeah.
do know for a fact that it was very story heavy.
I thought you played that with Mikey.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I'm thinking about the
Yeah.
the other one. Way Out. Yes, the Prison Break one. Yes, we played.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
together.
yeah.
That is pretty heavy, but it's yeah, I would say it's
Yeah.
fairly story heavy, but it's not too heavy because you're still running through doing stuff. But there's plenty of story in it for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I will try for sure that co-op soccer actiony game.
Yeah, Sifu.
Oh, bro, I'm
because
totally
yeah,
buying that.
that's very-
Fucking
Yeah.
Shaolin Soccer looks sick as
Yeah.
fuck.
That looked fun. Otherwise, everything else, like the Squid Game thing, was weird to me.
I mean, I figured you'd be excited about Mafia Old Country. They had a full
Uh,
CD trailer for that one.
They did. I haven't watched it yet. That came out. That
Okay.
was out after I went to bed, so I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so you got that one.
And I didn't see it on this list.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm sure I'll be very excited about Mafia.
Yeah, it
when
looks
I watch
good.
it.
Like it looks interesting about what they're gonna do. I think watch it because it's kind of like a prequel.
Interesting.
So
I
there's
did
a
love-
character from Mafia 1 that this follows.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. Like, oh, this could be so and so, and they say his name. I'm like, it is so and so.
The best part was that when after the trailer drops, there's it's a baked in ad, but when you're watching like the stream, but like the rebroadcast of the stream, the immediate ad right after that trailer is that Mafia 1 is 80% off now on
Yeah.
all stores. Like it's like go play Mafia 1.
You could buy the collection, whatever. Yeah, on sale.
Go
Yeah.
catch up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll play Outer Worlds 2 when it comes out. So
Yeah, that looked
there
good.
were some,
Yo,
there
yeah.
were some
I
good
forgot about that
things.
one. That one looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some good
I
things.
need to play through 1 again.
To round it out, Preston got, of course, a Zenless trailer. It did show off a little bit of the new character that's not a part of any factions that I know, so I thought that was cool. The new Turok game I thought was pretty cool. I thought it was hilarious. Those Alex or Christian when it was like,
It was Alex.
That was me.
there was like there's no way to make a Turok game, and the next thing that happened a second later was like Turok. Yeah, so it's
I know Alex was like, "Is that Turok?" And then Preston was like, "There's no fucking way they're gonna make it."
and it's like okay,
It was like Turok Origins.
fucking thought, yeah. But yeah, looks like a cool co-op / single player action game. Like I'm excited. I'm curious to see what it is before we actually get too excited about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we got the third race, the final race, the alien race for Helldivers 2.
Yeah, the Illuminate. Yeah.
That's coming in, so I got a bullshit for that.
Is that are those the ones that everybody for months had been saying like you could see in shadows?
Yeah.
but off in the
Yes,
distance?
we're all
Yeah.
waiting for it because it was the only race that they hadn't put in from the original game. So
From the original
we're all
game,
just
yep,
waiting for that
yep.
to happen. Sonic Racing got a little teaser. I know a lot of people like that All Stars Racing, so if they keep
It
the
is a
same
good
quality,
game. The racing transform.
I'd be
is
excited
good,
to
yeah.
see kind of like what goes on with that. And then I know these guys don't give a shit about it, and they were talking shit on it, but I will still say that I'm excited for Borderlands 4. They showed off the classes,
yeah.
so if you're into that, they did show off the classes that we'll have there, or at least like a video of it, not like detailed information on them, but you get to see who they are and a little bit of their action. And then they did show a trailer for the new Pac-Man game that was also an episode of Secret Level, so we all got to see it on Secret Level.
Shadow Labyrinth.
And
It's
then,
like a yeah. It's
Wait,
pretty
wait.
good.
trailer for
I didn't. Wait, so I saw the episode, which was dark as hell.
Yes.
I did not see the trailer for the Pac-Man game. How did those two things coincide?
It was in the
Dude,
beginning. You saw it. You were there.
It's called
Did I?
Shadow Labyrinth.
Yeah, Shadow
They
Labyrinth,
just
yeah.
didn't call it Pac-Man. They just called it Shadow
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look it back up. But I don't recall. But like that episode was dark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
Be a 2D.
All right.
Yep. So, yeah, I think that's all the trailers that I can even think of as far as what
I think that was.
excited
We
about.
touched on most of them.
Yeah, so.
Cool. So yeah. So I did want to talk about one thing about this, and it's just a lot of shit that I've had to read recently.
Wait, are we going to do our weeks?
Oh, I guess we probably should, shouldn't we? We've skipped our weeks, huh? Wow. Hey, let's do our weeks 46 minutes into it.
Yeah.
I know.
I can
I'll start first because mine's just a quick call out.
Okay.
So, I played a little bit. So we all, towards the end of the year, we all have games that we've told people like, "Hey, I'm going to talk about this one. You should probably check it out." And so I did Balatro for Preston.
Yeah.
I told Preston
that.
I'm not going to do Balatro. I
Yeah,
respect
that's
it.
fine.
Just
It's
not for
okay.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue
If
with
don't-
you wherever
if you
you
don't care
put
about
it.
poker at all, I mean, it's not poker, but
Nope.
it's got the foundations of poker. And if you don't like that,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like, not gonna be
I will not
Yeah, so I
argue
played
with
it.
you about wherever you want to put it on the list.
I did a full run of like that base Joker that you get, and I totally get it. It is.
It's
I see
incredibly
the loop.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the loop. I understand why. I just personally, it just doesn't do much for me.
I'm
but
not good at it, so that's why I dropped off. But like, yes,
I can once you start getting in the role and like you start being able to manipulate things and your odds. I totally is super fun. I get it. The other game that I played and beat was Neva.
yes.
And I just want to say that you tried to hurt Alex, and you wanted him to play this game. And
I want
you
everyone to
would
play
have
this
hurt
game,
him.
but he saw the trailer. He knew what he was getting into.
No.
You
no,
no,
trailer.
because I said I wasn't gonna play it if it was, and you said like, oh, if you make it past the beginning, it's totally fine. Like it'll be okay.
They do some stuff to see. Look, you can see it in his face. Yeah, pure fibbery.
I don't want to like spoil the story of it, and it's like only. not
I
very
didn't
long,
spoil
but
anything
yeah.
for Alex, but all
did
I
not.
did was right when I finished it, I said, Alex,
Don't.
do not,
Yeah.
under any circumstances, finish this game. Because he had already played like an hour of it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I figured
nope.
the beginning would have been like enough of a thing. If you could get past that, it'd be fine. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong then.
I think that there's some stuff as to how it ends and the way that it ends
Sure.
that he would be like, why God? Like he would not.
I'll talk about it more when we get to like game
Yeah.
of the year. But like, there's reasons why I thought that. So we'll get into it then. But I don't yet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, there is. And
he's not wrong.
It does.
Alex.
Yeah, it does do a little bit of some stuff.
Yeah,
that-
I don't
like
want.
I
Yeah,
said-
I don't want to spoil it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a
So
short
I
game.
said,
yeah.
I told him, I said, overall, it does end on a positive
It
note,
does.
but the way they get there
Yeah.
is a little nasty.
The way I see it is that you see what happens in the trailer. As far as that's concerned, if that doesn't bother you at all, then you can definitely play this game. If it slightly tugs at you a little bit and you don't think that you want to experience that type of story, then yeah, don't play that game.
But when the trailer came out, I saw the trailer and said the words.
you were already- no.
I said I will not play that game
Yeah.
because I know it's gonna be. And then you came on and said, "No, I beat it. If you get past the beginning, it's fine. Like you'll be fine."
Well, I mean,
is
yeah, I
what you
mean,
s-
I probably should have worded that
Fibber.
differently, but also I can't word that too much differently without spoiling the fucking game. So it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a little weird. So
We'll
yes,
get
Christian, I'm glad that he was able to tell you before you committed.
Yeah, because I was like, if he'd have gotten to the end of this, he would have came unglued.
He's a Preston lied to your ass. Don't
Yeah.
play it.
I just
So I was like, all right, well, that's basically it. Like I finished most of the game, and so I was
unless
like,
you want to dabble in Zenless, but I don't expect anyone to do that. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know because at first I looked and I was like hoping I was like, oh, maybe it's on Steam, and I was like, I'll just download it really quick and play like an hour
you have
just
to
so
get
I
it
can
from
have
Hoyo.
it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I gotta download the Hoyo launcher, and then
Unless you
make
want to
an
do
account.
console, you can not have to do that. But yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, that's so much. So I
it's
don't know.
it's not
But-
a lot. It's not a little, but yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, all right, well, it's time for me to hop into something and, just mess with something until something new comes out. So I've started, I'm in the middle of Act 1, but I started up Cyberpunk.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me know how it goes, because yeah, I'm very curious
There-
about it. I've always
it
wanted to
is,
jump into it, but
It is a WRPG with a capital W, man.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Where did you start? Like you had 3 factions. You can be like out in the wilderness. You can be
Corpo,
a
yeah.
corpo.
Oh,
What'd you do?
Street Kid.
Street Kid. Okay.
Street. Okay. I was saying the capital W really comes into play if you start off like in the desert.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, even in this one, like the second you spawn in, like you're walking around, and there's just like a million things to interact with and pick up, and
Yeah.
it's like that's what I mean by Western RPG. I just mean like the Skyrimification of
Let's
like
pick up this plate. Let's
every-
pick up this fork.
Well, you can't you can't do that, but you can be
Well,
like every item can be like it's like, hey, do you want to take this chocolate milk? Do you want to take this person's fork? Do you want to take this person's thing on the bookshelf? And I'm just like, God, there's so many icons. Like I just Jesus Christ, like I just want to get to where I'm going. Or like you'll be walking and like somebody will be chirping off on the side, and I'll be like, oh, I think that's just people talking, and then like something will come into my screen. It'll be like new side quest, and I'm like, where, who? Like I'm like, and I have to turn around and like try to figure it out. Like it's so ridiculous at some points, but so far the actual narrative part has been fun.
You're playing the best version because I think they intertwined Phantom Liberty and stuff in with this, but if they didn't fix the map, there may be a mod for it because the problem with the map when I played it last is that it's very vertical, except it doesn't give you icons in a vertical landscape. It gives you icons on a flat landscape.
Sick.
So then it's like, okay, well, is this on the first floor or the 35th floor?
I don't know if they fixed that. Honestly,
I think there's a fix for that or a mod, one of the two.
I have heard that people were like, hey, it's mostly fixed, but you're still gonna want to download some mods. I was like, oh, let's just try it. I don't want to have to deal with that right now. And I might go back and look and see what's available. It still pisses me off that I'm even in that position, but
Yeah. This
whatever.
far out, yeah.
But it's been fun. So, but that was it.
Nice.
I don't know if we talked about it. So the only thing I would say is I only got to watch one episode, but I watched the Warhammer episode of Secret Level.
Fucking sick.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Insane.
I didn't know that we were gonna get Titus lore. So shout out to
It's
that.
I think it's a prequel to 2, Space Marine 2.
It would probably be a prequel to 1.
I gotcha. I wasn't sure. I figured it was
Because he wasn't in, like, he was a lower rank in that video than he was in Space Marine 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
got like
and-
demoted to the Death Watch or whatever before 2, right?
Yeah, but but his armor, he still had
It's not
Ultramarine
Death Watch
armor
armor. Okay.
in this.
Right.
Yeah, Death Watch armor is all black.
Okay.
So, I watched all of those episodes.
I finished them the other night.
Very good. I don't know if I had to pick a favorite. I would say Armor Core, and then
Of course, real good.
Armor Core and the Warhammer are both really, really good. The
Both
Pac-Man
you
was
motherfuckers have it in Steam Library, so just
I
go
know.
play it.
Pac-Man was great, but like freaking dark.
Yeah.
And then
Very surprising.
they were all very well done. Like I will
Incredible.
say they're all super well done. But yeah, I've only played one game this week. I played Metaphor. I am 35 hours into it,
Okay.
I think. And yeah, man, I've been making. I told you guys I'm gonna finish this
Yeah,
game for
you're-
the game of the
yeah.
year. Yeah. I'm in. Well, I'm not in August, but I'm in August. Like what I just did. Like I said, I now have like 12 or 13 days till the next event, which is August 13th.
Yeah.
And I've done all my quests for that, so now I'll just be doing bot stuff. So I'll be in August in no time, which I think by looking like I'm halfway.
Yeah, you've got September, and then October's a big month.
Yeah, and the
friendo.
end of September is like a lot of cutscenes and like a little bit
Yeah.
of battle and then a big cutscene, a little bit of battle and a big cutscene.
I have one legitimate problem with this game, and
Yeah.
you guys might be able to help me out with it. And it's not the fact I can't romance anybody. That's
It's probably
It's-
a tutorial that you skip, so we'll take it.
no, it's not. It's. I feel like I'm not leveling my archetypes as fast as I should versus where I'm at in the game. So I'm worried, like, to get the best archetypes in the game,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm leveling things quick enough to get the best archetypes.
So
like,
here's the thing.
Yeah.
So have you gotten an archetype up to 20 yet?
Master,
I've gotten
essentially.
Yeah, like I'm on the night, for instance, on the girl
Heisenberg?
not Heisenberg, but yes,
Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg.
Sorry.
So like she mastered the knight, and now she's a magic knight, and like I mastered a mage, and now I'm a wizard. So like I think I've gotten most things. Like I'm about to get
So
my one new character. I don't like
When-
spoilers, but he's almost at 20 on thief. I think he's a 19. So
when you get that second one, almost leveled up, right? So what you're going to run into is a couple different things. So there's going to be a point in the game where these like the branch off of Magic Knight there's going to be two, and you'll have to be like have maybe a couple different things, right? But something that happens that the game does not tell you, it expects you to see it on your own. But if you're at level 20 and you rank up again past level 20, you get an item called a golden leaf, or it's like a hero's leaf or something like that gives automatic 1,000 experience to any archetype. Like you just use it as an item that you have unlocked. Yeah. So if you have so what'll end up happening is like with Wizard and then like with Magic Knight and maybe like the next Swordsman one, like whatever, when those all start ranking up all the time, you'll get a fuck ton of magic leaf items just always. And it becomes better to then use those to start skipping levels on your next, like whatever archetype you're trying to level up, because you're already going to be doing so much damage that it won't make sense to rank yourself back down to then try to level that up. It's more efficient to use the one that you're comfortable with, that you're winning on, and then
level that one
in the
up.
background level up the other archetypes, like with those items,
and
like
then stick with the first
especially
one,
like,
and then just keep leveling.
So because what I've been doing is, as soon as I level up and hit 20, like I'll swap it to something else, so I start leveling another archetype up.
Yeah. So again, that's okay for right now, like where you're at.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a point where you're going to start to notice, like, oh damn, like for Swordsman, for Stroll, like if you've been keeping him on Swordsman.
He's on the second. He's on Warrior, but he's on the second version of Warrior.
Right. So that next one, like the next one after that, will say like, and this is how they mean you to run it into naturally. So you're not doing anything wrong. No. But what's going to happen is like for that one, it'll say like, oh, to get to the next level of Warrior or whatever, I need to have something in the commander tree all the way leveled up and be at level 20 on this. And you'll start looking at the commander tree and you'll go, well, I'm in a place that is weak to Stroll's moves now, so I don't want to do that because I'll lose out on this. Right. So I'll just try to level that up later. And then you'll start, when you start ranking up, you start getting these items, and it's like, hey, you can just put this on any archetype that you have unlocked, and then you can just use it. And those like that 1,000 experience, especially on some of those early ones, will count for like 5 archetype levels. Yeah. So it lets you boost up and get to where you need to be to then continue on what your ultimate path is through there.
Because like endgame, you have archetypes that they are pretty much telling you that is the best option for that character. And then I'm getting to the point to where it's like, okay, well, for me to get there, I have to level up these 2 other archetypes just to unlock that one. So since I'm getting all of that, like those pieces, I'm just going, okay, once I unlock that archetype, I'm like, okay, which ones do I need? I just go, okay, we're going to unlock these 2, level them all up, and now I can choose that archetype that I really want.
So in the last area, it would have actually been better where I was struggling not having the right stuff on my wizard, like not having the right weakness on my wizard. I would have had that weakness if I would have stayed on my mage. Yeah. So it would have been better for me to go backwards on my mage, stick with the guy that's mastered out, and get items for other stuff.
And that's how they mean it. That's how they mean it to happen, because what you'll notice is like there's an early thing in the game, but they're like always focus on weaknesses. Like,
right. Well, I know, yeah, that's Persona, right? That's just how that's
right. But it's more apparent in this game because it's not like, because in Persona it's like all you have to do is make sure that one person has the weakness, so that then you can do the all-out attack and get big damage and then move on. This is
how many moves are you gonna
everybody have? Yeah. If you don't have at least 2 people that are doing a weakness to not continually generate turns for you, then you're starting on the back end. Like it's not it's not going to go well for you. And so they always like, weaknesses are the name of the game, focus on it. So yes, it is more important to, when you're playing the game, prepare for like the area that you're going into and go, okay, I'm going to use whatever archetype it is that is strong against this stuff. And then, like I said, you'll start getting those items that'll just start flooding your inventory, and you go, okay, cool. Now I'm not losing out on not having a new archetype always getting, because I have the ability to boost it in the background now. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that I'm using mage for a long time to cover all my bases, because mage is at 20, and I can keep leveling up Wizard in the background by getting these items that I'm just going to blast through levels with.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and I'm close. Like, I've got everybody up, the main three, the first three characters that I have, because I only have 4 active characters right now.
Yeah.
And I just got the 4th one. So I've gotten everybody up to 20 on one thing. And then most everybody else is between, like, 15 and 16 on their second.
Yeah. And that's okay
So-
to kind of do those too as well. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm getting there. The game's great. I have no problems with it at all. My jokes aside about me not being able to romance many of the characters, it's great, honestly. And like because of the fact I've played Personas in the past, I roll in somewhere and they're like, "We should go prepare and then take on this dungeon in a few days." I'm like, "Ha ha ha! We should take on the dungeon now and beat it, and then we'll do the rest." I only had one time, and I may have talked about this last week. I don't remember. I only had one time in the first dungeon where I barely got lucky enough to finish it on the first day with no MP or anything.
Yeah.
But since then, it's been fine. I mean, we're cruising.
That's happened to me a
Mage
couple
is great,
times.
man. When you're doing the overworld trick and you use Mage and it keeps refilling your MP, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Those passives are
I
nice.
need. I didn't even pay attention to that. That's true because I've been using Wizard, so I'm not even getting that
Yep.
passive. Which is
No, you are. Nope, it's that whole archetype line.
Yeah,
Oh,
as long
okay.
as you are in that archetype, yeah. Same thing with like merchant.
Yep.
Merchant, like you want to level, if you want to just farm gold, just put your
Yep.
guy a merchant and then find one of those lower level dungeons and just roll through there and you'll get a shit ton of money.
I did that a while back. I was actually leveling merchant because it was
It's
one
like
of Moore's
main
things,
mission,
right?
yeah.
Like Moore's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
go get it to level 15." I was like, "All right," and I was in the overworld just like smashing things, and all of a sudden I was at like 30,000 money, and I came out. I think as 160. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, okay,
That goes a lot faster than you would think, yeah.
yeah,
Yerp.
let's go. But yeah, game's great. That's all I played, and that's all I'm going to continue to play because I'm trying to finish it. Other than Christian and I played some Final Fantasy the other day.
There you
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're still trying to get that stuff in, but that'll never not be. So
go. That'll
yeah.
always be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I watched any shows other than. I mean, I've been watching like I'm caught up on Dawn to Dawn, and then of course I watched Secret Level and stuff. But you know,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll continue on with Metaphor. I have 10 days left. I didn't have a lot of time to play this week. But I did play about 3 hours last night. Yeah, so I got 10 days left until, like, the big, supposedly finale. Who knows, maybe they throw me a wrench in there. I'm pretty sure I'm close because I'm already over 80 hours. So now all I have really, as far as quests, and this is not going to spoil anything for story. I'm not even going to explain what these are about, but there's essentially 3 trials that you have that are essentially the last objectives. I try to do one. The dungeon itself is fine to get through, but there's a trial which is the boss of the trial that just fucks me. And I'm like, okay, what do I gotta do for this guy? I looked it up and like, oh, we want you to be level 75 and I'm level 55. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. I'm like, okay. Let's figure out what's the best place to gain levels. Like, how do you do that? So that same
Yeah, how
area.
do you grind in Persona?
So
like, these
there's a
games
couple
typically
different
aren't
ways.
grinding games.
There's those little magma crystals that you see that spawn enemies. If you find a way to just like stick around that area, don't destroy the crystal, you can just kind of continuously farm those.
Also, enemies will respawn eventually.
They will. It will eventually respawn.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is essentially that trial I'm at is like the dungeon's a tower essentially, right? So you're just going up levels. I have outfitted my teams and the teams outside of that team, like a secondary team, to be able to handle all those enemies in that dungeon. And they're not automatic like 1 or 2 hit kills in the overworld. Like these are ones I'm still actually going through and actually battling. But I'm just going through that dungeon. You get to the top to where there's a save point with like the cat, Moore's cat, and then it'll allow you to go to the entrance of the dungeon, which will respawn all the enemies. And I just kind of continue to go up and up, and sooner or later I'll get to a point where those enemies will just die in the overworld, and then I just got to keep on continuing doing that and just go through. Because right now I'm running out of MP, right? Because I have to go through the battles. But once you're killing them in the overworld, you're not spending MP. So all you got to do is run through there and just kill. And that's apparently you can get your characters up to 99. I probably won't do up to 99. I'll probably just get into the mid 70s and kind of stick with it that way. But yeah, the only thing I have left to do
Yeah,
is
that's why I
get a couple
finished. I
rounds.
finished the game around like 78, 79.
Did you? Okay, getting closer to
Did
80,
you
so.
did you also have to farm?
No, not really. I mean, yes and no. Like what he's talking about, I did a couple times, but it was mostly because I was trying to get certain archetypes that you'll find about later. I was trying to get those unlocked,
Gotcha.
so that then I could go forward. So by the time you get the requirements to get those archetypes unlocked, you will be at the 70-ish area.
Because to be fair, like I had 10 days left. If I didn't do those trials and just did all my bonds, like I'd be rolling into the final boss with like 60, like probably low 60s, and I'm just worried I'm gonna get to that final boss and I'm gonna get fucked. But I do know I heard that there was a spot in the final area that you get to that you can't just go into without like going into the final section. There is a spot there that is a known farm spot. Like
There
that
is,
spot,
yeah.
that spot is there just for you to like level up if you need to.
And there's a save spot right before the point of no return that leaves you in that area.
So if
that
you have
can
to,
you can sit and grind it out if
That's
you need
awesome.
to. Yeah, they don't screw you. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, I'm just getting through that. I'm going to finish it sooner or later. I just want to get my levels up, and then I will cap it off. Other than that, I really only played Outlaws like literally before this podcast. Doing Star Wars Sundays. We probably only got one more Star Wars Sunday left with it because we are in the final section. It did give you that prompt of, hey, if you want to do any side quests before you go to this section, because this will lock you into story until you finish it, and then you can go do side quests after you finish it. But yeah, we're getting into it.
And you were like, I don't. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I might come back if for some reason, but it's no. Ran into a fun little bug last mission. We literally have like less than 10 hours left to play this game, and I still ran into, I wouldn't call it a game-breaking bug, but it ruined that run. Essentially, like I was gonna die and I was gonna get caught. So what happened was I was sneaking around. It's like an Imperial base, and not the Imperial base. It's like the heist that you're going on at the very end. Mm-hmm. You're going through this base, and when you look at objects, like something you can pick up or a ladder, they have a little icon that kind of pops up, a little white little dot. That white little dot got stuck on a ladder. So that means I couldn't pick up anything. I couldn't activate any hacking devices or open up doors. And the way I found out that I was super screwed was I tried to sneak attack behind somebody, and that doesn't give you the square prompt because it's still focusing on the ladder that is like the hell away over there. So nice. I got my shit pushed in, and then it reset it back to my last checkpoint. I had to redo that entire section over again.
Pretty awesome.
So, yeah, it's only been out 7-8 months, somewhere probably around there. And
has it been that long? Oh my god.
It's probably about like half a year, but yeah, that is the final level, and that thing is still having issues. So, it's unfortunate, but we're getting through it. I don't hate the game. I have fun parts of it. I think the story is good. I think it looks good until they're zooming in on faces and their mouths don't go very well, which I can understand for something like Metaphor because that's not the native language that.
Oh, it's only been. It hasn't even been 3 months yet. It was August 30th.
August. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it feels like 6 months.
I was like, Jesus Christ, man! I was like, if it had been half a year already,
But yeah, they're supposed to have done a whole bunch of bug fixes and like taken care of a whole bunch of stuff, and I still ran into like a needing to reload a checkpoint.
To be fair,
bug.
you're not wrong. It should have launched fixed, but
it should have. And maybe given that amount of time, But yeah, it's unfortunately it's still a little buggy. Other than that, watched a bunch of Secret Level. It's amazing. Love the Unreal Tournament one. I hope that kind of spurs some love out there to maybe possibly get some greenlit, but who knows?
Fuck no.
Not everyone can be Capcom, right? So.
If Capcom owned Unreal Tournament, we'd already have a new one.
It would have been already made.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know if I talked about it last time, but I did start Arcane. I'm like 4 or 5 episodes into it. I did get to that episode where that person who does music for Periphery, that song did come in.
Misha,
it's very obvious that it is that type of style, and it's very cool.
Oh, dude,
the whole sequence is
love
awesome.
him. I love him very much, but he has one of, if not the most identifiable guitar tones and writing sounds. Like, if you hear some like genty sort of like bow bow bow, like you're like, yep, that's I know who that is.
Yeah, and it was great. He's
awesome. In here somewhere.
Yeah, I was waiting for that because they kept on teasing the character that you mentioned like for like 3 or 4 episodes, and I finally get to the episode where it's at. I'm like, okay, here it is, let's go. And it's the most expensive animated show ever made. It fucking shows, and it's very well written. So it's really good. I'm like about halfway through it. I'm excited to finish it. Yeah. Other than
unfortunately, it will never make anybody want to go play League of Legends. But
Steph reached out to me. She's like, it kind of makes me want to play. I'm like, I just told her don't. I'm like, don't. It's nothing
Unless
like the
you
show.
want to be called every racial slur
Yeah.
ever, or just any offensive slur, not even racial. Unless you feel like dealing with that level of toxicity, there's no reason.
It's
to
just,
pick up that game.
and she even said like, it's not my type of game. And I'm like, yeah, it's not your type of game, and also like nothing about that show outside of maybe some lore drops is anything like that game. Like it's
Yeah.
Wait for that company to make an action game or something like that later on, because they're making like 15 different games off that like world.
They
if you
are.
will.
They have an RPG coming. They've got 2XKO is coming out soon.
Yep, so we got a fighting game for it. So it's wait for those games to come out. Do not play League of Legends if you're into Arcane. But yeah, other than that, that's it. That's all I got for my week.
Nice. All right. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Catch us later this week where we're not going to be doing a book club, because remember, that's coming back at the new year. We will have a side quest for you where we're going to dive a little bit more into the Video Game Awards and some controversy that came from that, if you will, I guess. And yeah, we will see you then. So tune in later this week. And with that, Preston, you know what to do.
Hit it.
Thank you for listening to another episode of The Testing Room. To catch up on past episodes or check out the newest ones when they drop, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If watching is more your thing, check out youtube.com/thetestingroom or Twitch TV/testingroompod. To leave comments and ask questions, follow us on Instagram @testingroompod and email us at testingroompod@gmail.com. See you next time.